I think in the situation of the space shuttle Challenger, obviously there was a lot of things that could have been different. Um, and like the assignment description says, it has a lot of ethical dilemmas that we can all learn from. But I think that the most important thing, this is something that I always have thought of personally. Like, there's no point really contemplating what we would have done differently if if we were to go into the past and say, oh, like what would you have done differently with the Challenger? Um, because I mean, obviously, there's nothing we can change about the past. We have to accept it. We have to move on. But I like the fact that we're kind of looking at it and saying with an attitude of what can we do better, what can we learn for the future. So the first question is, what could NASA have done differently? And so, from what I understand about this topic, the issue was that it was too cold for the spaceship, and then something within the spaceship ruptured and it broke through. The fuel broke through, um, and it ignited and exploded and killed all the crew. Um, it's obviously I was reading a little bit about this, and apparently some of the engineers and scientists in Utah actually already knew that they should not have launched the space shuttle, but that there were just some poor executive decisions made and kind of some ignorance there. So they ended up deciding to launch it anyway. And so if they would have taken that time to really consider what might have been the consequences and just think of safety first, as cliche as that sounds, I think that would have made a big difference, and those astronauts and those scientists would have probably been still alive. Roger Boyce. Okay. What should Roger Boyce Jolly have done differently, if anything, in answering this question? Keep in mind that at his age, the prospect of finding a job, if he was fired, was slim. You know, and from my understanding, from what I understand, I know that he tried to stop this. He was trying to, stop the launch because he knew it was something that was dangerous. It shouldn't have been done. And honestly, I'm not sure that there was much more he could do. Maybe he could have been more adamant about stopping the launch. Um, Maybe he just didn't push hard enough to make him stop. But I think, if anything, that might have been the only thing that he could do at that time. And the last question says, what do you and the students see as your future in engineering professional responsibilities in relation to both being loyal to management and protecting the public welfare? You know, I'm not a hero, but I like to think that if I were to be placed in a situation like that, where someone's health or someone's welfare could be put in jeopardy, that I would put that first. I can't say that I would because I've never been in that situation, but I'd like to think that I would. And obviously, it's important to follow orders, but if someone's life is in the balance, depending on the context, depending on some details, these kinds of things can be really complicated. Gotta weigh the consequences. But obviously, I feel like in most cases, to save someone's life is what's more important than anything else. So yeah, I really think that this is an interesting topic, and I think that obviously we can't go back in time, we can't change that, like I said, but it's something that we can learn from and grow better from in the future.